Question. I have been looking into different spiritual teachings all my life and finding yours resonates so much. Thank you for it. I had one event happen to me many years ago, but I'm still puzzled by it and I would appreciate your view on it. A big physically violent incident happened in my family, including my daughter, son, and ex-husband. My ex-husband was arrested by police and wasn't allowed to come close to me and my children for 6 months. That event broke me open. Tears were running for 3 days non-stop, and I was not crying, but I was just a river of tears coming down. A second night after the event, as I was in my bed, a huge bright light filled the whole place. The light was so intense and a great sense of peace when it was infused in it. In the right top corner of the room was my ex with a beautiful smile waving to me. I was shocked with the love that emanated from him in comparison with the violent man enraged that had been arrested. He was asking me to join him. It was my decision if I will. There were some beings present on my right side that I could see since they had long robes with hoods, but they waited for me to decide. My thought was, no, this is too much. You crossed the line. Next thing I know, everything closed and the light disappeared, back to normal. I never got back with my ex and never will, but I would love to know what happened that night. Thank you in advance and may you be blessed for spreading the knowledge that we need here on earth. Well, the experience is similar to some near-death experiences or some experiences of people who were in a crisis situation and they suddenly, like they were taken out of their normal state of awareness. So, my take on it is that if you read some of these near-death experiences, you will see that many people have this experience that when you're out of the physical body, you look at life on earth differently. You look at it more neutrally. It's not everybody who has that, but many of these people where the physical body dies, they have this sense that they are not caught up in the same deep emotions that you're normally caught up in. So I would interpret this to mean that you were given an opportunity to see that the violence of your ex-husband was the outer facade, but that beyond that, he is a spiritual being, just like we all are, and just like you are. So I would see the opportunity, see the experience as an opportunity for you to let go of the sense of hurt, anger, betrayal, whatever you felt as a result of the experience. And I'm not trying to in any way push aside your experience. There is no doubt that what he did was wrong and that your reaction to it was a natural enough reaction. But I think you were given an opportunity to see that he was acting based on the outer psychology, the unresolved psychology that I always talk about with the subconscious selves that we have in the emotional, mental, and identity bodies. And that this isn't who he really was, that behind that he was a spiritual being. So you also had the opportunity to see that even though it's understandable that you were hurt, you're also beyond this. And I understand that, if you accept what I'm saying, it can feel like you missed an opportunity. But I don't necessarily look at it that way, because I think it's understandable that you couldn't make that shift at the time because it was too raw. But there's nothing to prevent you from making the shift now. I'm not here telling you to get back with your ex. I'm telling you to look at the experience, process the experience, and realize that your ex, who he really is as a spiritual being, is beyond the outer personality. And you are also a spiritual being who is beyond the outer personality you had at the time that reacted the way you did. So if you can let go of that, and this is what I talk about, subconscious selves, then you can make the progress as a result of it. So the way I would look at it is that it's a typical situation with human conflicts. Your ex-husband was driven by his unresolved psychology, certain subconscious selves. You reacted to the situation based on your unresolved psychology, your subconscious selves. And the best thing for you, for your spiritual growth, is that you overcome those subconscious selves. Now, I suspect they weren't created by your husband by that incident, by this lifetime. They go back lifetimes, so you were probably abused in previous lifetimes, and it could go back to what I call the cosmic birth trauma, which is when we first came to Earth and encountered what I call the fallen beings. And I explained this in my playlist about avatar psychology. So you might want to watch that playlist and see how that resonates with you. I think that, spiritual opportunities are never lost, because you can always go back and say, okay, I wasn't ready to look at it back then, but I'm ready to look at it now. And I would say that the beings you sensed were there, waiting for you to make a decision, was your ascended teachers. And it doesn't matter so much that some time has passed, but you still have an opportunity to ask them to help you see what you couldn't see back then. And I think if you do this, you will receive help to resolve this, and this will help you move on. I'm not talking about your ex-husband. I don't know anything about him, whether he's changed his consciousness or not. That's not my point. My point is you who are asking the question, how you can make the maximum spiritual progress. And I think that is by looking at this situation. And I think many of us have situations from our past in this lifetime where, we were younger, we were inexperienced, we were caught up in the heat of the situation, and we couldn't respond the way we ideally would have wanted to. But it doesn't mean that we can't go back, revisit these situations and say, okay, now that I have it a little more at a distance, that I have grown, I'm willing to look at it. And you can ask your ascended teachers, you can ask your higher self, what do I need to see in this situation that I didn't see back then? Because I'm willing to look at it now. I'm willing to look at my own psychology and see what I haven't seen so far. And I think if you do this, you will actually make major progress. I would also recommend, if you that you watch the playlist on avatar psychology, and I also recommend the book in there, Healing Your Spiritual Traumas, which is a book released by the Ascended Masters to help you deal with these deep traumas from the past. So if you really want to work through it and make use of this opportunity, then that's what I would recommend.